Let's be honest, when you hear the word geometry, what comes to mind? For a lot of us, it's probably dusty textbooks and, a bunch of confusing formulas. But what if I told you that you're literally surrounded by it, right this second? Today, we're going to go on a little adventure to find the hidden shapes that build our entire world. So, what's the secret? How do we take something that feels so abstract and make it feel real and tangible? Well, it's definitely not about memorizing more formulas. It's about learning to see. And that right there is our mission today. Okay, so our first step is actually a pretty simple but really powerful shift in how we look at things. We're moving away from the abstract lines you'd find in a math class and into the vibrant life that's all around us. Let's start with the big idea here. Shapes are not just doodles in a notebook. Come on, they're the actual blueprint of our reality. I mean, from the mind-blowing patterns of a single snowflake to the massive curve of a planet's orbit, everything is built from geometry. I mean, really think about it. That formula for the area of a circle, pi r squared, it might seem boring until you realize it's the key to figuring out exactly how much pizza you're about to eat. And those weird angles and lines in a diagram, that's the very same physics that lets a kite just soar through the sky. This is our goal here, to translate the language of the textbook into the language of our world. All right, now that we kind of know what we're looking for, it's time to get out there. We're turning this from a lesson into a full-on adventure. So welcome to the Great Shape Hunt. That's right. Your new job title is Geometry Detective. And your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to uncover all those secret shapes that are hiding in plain sight. And your hunting grounds? They're not in some far-off, remote jungle. Nope. They're the places you see every single day. Your home, your school, the playground, even the local market. I guarantee you, once you start looking, you'll find these shapes have been right there under your nose all along. Now, any good detective keeps a log, right? And the process is super simple. Find an object, note where you found it, and then identify its shape. That window pane at home? It's a rectangle. The football out on the playground? That's a sphere. And that delicious samosa from the market? It's a perfect little triangle. See? All of a sudden, you're not just looking at things anymore. You're actually seeing the geometry inside them. Okay, so now that we've learned to see the shapes, it's time to create with them. In this section, our logical detective work is going to transform into something beautiful and expressive. We're talking about art. I absolutely love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. We tend to think of math and art as total opposites, right? Logic versus creativity, but they're not. Both of them are really about searching for patterns, creating structure, and finding the beauty in the world. So, how do we actually turn these shapes into art? Well, your creative toolkit is huge. You can draw them, you can build 3D models, or make cool collages. And we can also look to tradition for inspiration. Ancient art forms like rangoli and mandalas are just absolute masterpieces of geometric design. It just proves that this connection between math and beauty is thousands of years old. So we've seen the shapes, we've created art with them, and now it's time to build with them. This is where all that knowledge becomes real and tangible, where we finally put geometry to work. And the process is actually pretty straightforward. First, you observe and you measure. Then, you design and plan everything out, just like an architect or an engineer would. And finally, you get to the best part. You build and create, bringing your geometric design to life. Okay, here's a classic question to get your brain working. We have all seen this a million times, but have you ever just stopped to wonder, why do we put a round pizza in a square box? I mean, it seems kind of inefficient, doesn't it? And here's the code. Cracked. The answer is pure, practical geometry and engineering. A square box can be made from a single sheet of cardboard, which makes it way cheaper and easier to produce. It's also much stronger for stacking. And let's be real, it leaves those perfect little corner spaces for your dipping sauces. It's a design that's totally driven by geometric reality. So, after this whole journey of hunting and creating and building, we arrive at our final destination. And it's a big one. It's a completely new way of seeing the entire world. This really brings us to the ultimate point. Geometry is not just some subject that lives inside a math textbook. It's the hidden blueprint connecting, well, everything. It's in the symmetry of a flower, the structure of our DNA, the design of a skyscraper, and the composition of a painting. It is the silent, universal language of our world. And this is what it all comes down to. When you engage with geometry in this way, You're not just memorizing formulas for a test. You are learning to read the fundamental language of the universe. You learn to see the code of the world. So I'll leave you with this one question. We've managed to turn geometry into an adventure. What if we did the same thing for history, for literature, for science? Just imagine. What would our world look like if learning was always a quest of discovery? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this explainer.